right, we got to do a brake job on the dump. I have a caliper that is hanging up a little bit. These tires right here have to come off. That's the next step. My little jack here just barely picked that truck up. Harbor Freight, here I come. That'll keep it from coming down on me. So I guess that'll work. So let's get these tires off. See if a new battery helps. I haven't had these off, so they'll probably be a pain in the butt. Alright, let's glove up and start. Now this has here a block. There's a lot of these brake lines when they come off of the caliper. They just have basically a screw-in line with a compression fitting. These blocks are way better, so I'm real hopeful that I can get this right off. So let's clean this up. Okay, looks like 9/16. Okay, 9/16 it is. Look at that. These blocks are awesome. This bolt goes through this block and it has a brass or a copper washer on under the head and underneath this block, and they're crush washers and they get crushed in there. But you saw how easy that came out. Most of the time, if you have a compression fitting back here, you're going to be lucky if you get it free, and if you don't, you have to replace lines back in. These things are the real deal. It's excellent. So let's see if we can get this caliper loose. Hopefully they'll come out. Don't know when this was replaced last. I have no idea. That one came right off. Now they're telling me that the bracket comes with this. I'll work on getting this bracket off, or at least loose. I don't know if I'll have to actually replace it or not. I'm working on this caliper, and some guy up the road dropped a tree on the electric line, so I don't have any electric. So I got out this flashlight. It's a Nebo, and it's lithium ion. You can charge it. I showed it in one of my previous videos, but I failed to mention that you can slide it out and use it like that, and then you can put it on a magnet and you can use it like that. And I thought that was a pretty neat option. They're a little pricey, and no, they aren't sponsoring my channel. First order of business here, now that I'm back on this, is to get this off, and I've got to figure out a way to stop that brake fluid flow. I wonder. This is a spongy kind of rubbery thing. I'm going to clean it off, see if I can stuff that in there just to stop the drip. Alright, I think that's going to work. I think there's enough sponginess there to stop that from leaking. That can stay in there and protect that for now. Okay. Caliper is off. This has been the problem right there. See that? This caliper definitely needs change. Tessie! How's my baby girl doing, huh? Let's see if we can get this bracket off. Alright, these are metric. So let's see if we can get these off. Perfect. Brackets out. Bolts go back in. Now the pads, as you can see, are in pretty good shape, although I'm going to replace them. Alright, we got new parts. Caliper, pads. We've got the new bracket here. I've got to figure out this block over here, which is right here, has new crush washers, so I have to get these crush washers off, which is right here. That's the next step. That's what I'm going to start doing now. This is the bolt that came out of there, and it looks like it has one on it. This is the new bolt, and you can see it doesn't seem to have any kind of a washer on it, like the other one. I'm going to assume probably this one is on the old bolt, and the other one is probably in the old caliper. I'm thinking that these stay in because they're below flush. I'm thinking that they don't have to come out. So next in line will be to put this bracket back on and bolt it in place. Get those bolts out and never seize them. By the way, we still don't have any electricity. The electric company is up working on it, and I went up and helped them with my excavator to take a tree off, but they frowned on me filming it, so I didn't get a chance to do that. It looks pretty good. Okay, let's get some never seize on these. Firm believer in this stuff, because at some point in this truck's life I will have to revisit this. Let's see if I've got these started right. Good. Let's go down and try the bottom one. Okay. Now we got to get these clips in and put our pads in and then put our caliper on. But before we put the caliper on, I have a trick that I hope works here for bleeding this. That other one goes opposite that. Okay. There. That one's in here. And then clip in. Get this one in. Okay. They are in. That's the way they go. There shouldn't be any chatter in there. That looks exactly like it was when I took it apart, except this fell off on the ground and I lost all control of what I was doing, so everything looks right. New crush washers, which are here when I get the spongy thing out of it. That worked very well, by the way. I didn't have hardly any leakage at all, and that's perfect. This gets a bolt. That goes in there. That. And this goes on this side. That. And then we put a little dab of never seize on there. And then it goes into the caliper. This goes right there. Now that looks perfect. Alright, let's wipe this all off. Make sure it's not leaking. Doesn't look like it is. Looks great. Because we have everything off and we can rotate the caliper. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to start a bolt here. Just to hold it. This flashlight ran out of battery. Well, luckily I had charged this one before the electric went off. Hopefully it'll let us get this job finished. Alright, I got a 10 metric. Let's get this loose. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is pop this right out because I want to put never seize on this, because if I ever have to revisit this to bleed, I should be able to get it loose if I put never seize on it. Plus I need this out anyway. Put a dab of never seize right there. And this can be set down here for now. Now I'll take this bolt out and we'll have a little bit of patience here. We'll bring this down and get it filled up with with fluid. And it probably will help if I go up and loosen the cap on the reservoir. Got the cap loose, and as you can see here, the trick is to rotate this and get all the air out. See the air coming there? Okay, I think the air is out. Reinsert this little guy and get him locked down. Okay, wipe this all down. I'll leave that set there. Get these in. And this one. Okay. All right, this job is done. Put the tires back on. I'm gonna set for a minute and make sure I don't have any leaks anywhere. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna start the truck and make sure this is full so I can get right in here to bleed it if I have to. But I think I got all the air out of this. We'll get the truck fired up and see what our brakes do. And then we'll have to look at the master cylinder and add fluid as necessary. Fired the truck up and the brakes are great. There doesn't seem to be any air anywhere. Let's put the tires back on and take this thing for a spin. Just putting tools away. Electric's back on. These are directional tires, but you really never need to have a spare on a dump truck because you carry your spares right here. Right there. Yep. Now I can come right in through here to get air in that inside tire. These were not lined up. I had a heck of a time when I first got this truck. All right, these are never seized. They're back on. They're impacted in tight. The only way you can get into these is with an impact wrench. With the way these go in, trying to get something on out here, you're all over the place. So these impacts are imperative for this truck. Let's get it back down on the floor, take it for a drive. Like they did before. So let's take her for a spin and see if we get any heat. I learned that trick years ago. I had a Dodge Ram Charger, and that thing, after I'd wintered it one winter, took it down to the house that I lived in before, and both calipers were smoking when I got there. The brakes were just almost on fire. So anyway, I did the same trick. I grabbed new calipers, took those off, put them in and grabbed new calipers, and did the twisty turny thingy, and it worked awesome. I put them back on and I never lost anything. My pedal was fine, just like today. So if it helps you out, that's great. Yep, the brakes are working awesome. Nice rainstorm. Brakes are cold. I think we nailed it. Because I had a really odd thing going on with this. If you'd let this truck set for 2 or 3 days, that caliper I changed that brake would heat right up, nice and hot. And then you let it cool. And then after you let it cool, you can drive it anywhere and it'll never heat up. And it did that consistently, time after time after time. But you saw what the caliper looked like. One of the pistons was broken. So it was a matter of time before it didn't do that anymore and just started tearing up the rotor. And the rotor's in great shape, so we got that project done before it tore the rotor up. So that's a good thing. I think we got a pretty good job on this truck. Now it's ready to go back to work. So thanks for watching.